Hi, this is Lauren Rivera. I play Sienna in Terrifier 2, and you're listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast. This is episode number 367, where tonight we will be reviewing The Thing ×3. Of course, the original Thing from Another World from 1951. The Thing, John Carpenter's classic from 1982. And The Thing from 2011. I am here, of course, as always, with Steve and Todd. Gentlemen, it is time for our Super Bowl bets. The Super Bowl is here. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Just what everyone wanted. I know. Everyone very excited about this Super Bowl. If you're not from Philadelphia or Kansas City, I can't imagine anyone wanted this. But we are here once again, 2 years later, with the same exact Super Bowl. Same teams in it. Will it be a different outcome? Will Patrick Mahomes three-peat? We will find out. But why are we bringing this up? If you're new to the podcast, every year we do, of course, our Super Bowl bets where we decide the winner of the Super Bowl. And the losers, or loser, has to watch a punishment movie. So, let's start off. Steve, who you got for the Super Bowl this year?
I'm going with my woman Tay Tay, and also the good old black and white jerseys. So I'm going to go with the refs, aka the Chiefs.
Nice. I like that dig. That was good.
Yeah.
All the Chiefs fans are like, no, we get equal treatment. I think it's no shock here, Joe. You don't even have to come to me. I'm going for the Eagles.
Okay.
Here's the breakdown, though, man. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like them either. And I definitely don't like the Chiefs because my team's the Niners. We lost 2 Super Bowls in, a matter of years to them. Fuck them. Plus, man, I just want some new blood, man. I wish I can root for both of them to lose, but it's I'm not looking forward to it. I don't even want to watch it at this point. The only thing keeping me in is Super Bowl snacks, which I gotta decide the spread for.
What
So
we
that's
got?
always great.
Let's hear the spread.
I haven't undecided, but buffalo chicken dip probably.
Okay. Love it.
Some mozzarella sticks.
Oh, yeah.
Some homemade potato skins, with a little bacon crumble on there. You got cheddar cheese, you got your sour cream, maybe some garlic bread sandwiches.
Ooh.
So I think that's
What's in a garlic bread sandwich? What does that
you go
entail?
to your local supermarket and you go up
Yes.
to the deli where they make or not the deli, the bakery, and they have like the fresh loaves right over. They have, at least ours do, they have the garlic bread, which are little garlic pieces baked into the
Yes.
bread.
Very delicious.
Slice that motherfucker up.
Mm-hmm.
Put some mayo on there. Put some Swiss on there. Turkey, ham, whatever you got. Lettuce,
Okay.
tomato, onion. Maybe some guac. Maybe some avocado if you don't want to mix it up.
Love it.
And then make yourself a little sandwich there, so you can have some bad fried food and a little bit slightly better sandwich. But fuck the Chiefs. Slightly less fuck the Eagles.
Yes. Yeah. Steve, is the Super Bowl a big deal in Canada?
It is
right?
to football fans, but I'm
Yeah.
not. So
All right.
It's
I don't know
like,
if it's.
Why didn't you ever get into football, Steve? Just because
Because-
hockey's the biggest thing there?
yeah, I mean, like I watch a sport where they constantly go, people get injured, come back the next period, like stitched up. They're they fight, they
Missing teeth.
drink. Like, yeah, this like football is just like it's
not tough enough for
it's
you?
like slow and boring.
I can't imagine what you think about soccer then, because soccer is a
Oh
bunch
my
of
God,
freaking
don't even get me started
girly
on fucking
boys
soccer. Like, I fucking can't, man. I don't understand at all.
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
love basketball until they started, flopping all the time like soccer does. And
Yeah, like I will say I enjoy watching football in person.
Mhm.
I used to have season tickets, but it on TV, it's just like I just fucking can't.
And then baseball, not anymore because the Expos don't exist.
That's correct. They
Nice.
bring the Expos back, I'll start watching baseball again.
I mean, you got the Blue Jays.
Yeah, but that's like
It's Canada still.
yeah, no, but
Did
that like what's your least favorite city in the US?
Fucking Chicago.
I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
I got
let's
2 of them.
so if you're the only football team in the US was for the fucking like Bears, I guess. Would you like,
That's true.
root for them?
I guess from like a national pride level, but if that's not even making it happen for you, then that's
I mean,
all,
it's
guess.
nice if they win, just as like, oh, cool, but I'm not gonna watch them.
What about the Raptors? Same
I
thing.
mean, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I'm happy that they won the championship a few years ago,
Mm,
but it's not
okay,
like I'm gonna watch basketball because of it.
Hmm.
gotcha. Joe, what you got,
Yes.
man? What's your pick?
All right.
First
Steve
of all,
did.
I want to know two things, and we'll come. Well,
Yes.
Steve doesn't get to pick because he's not gonna watch it, but I want your pick plus what food we eating.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for this.
You're welcome.
Um, Steve, did like a lot of Expos fans follow like the team? Like, is there
Not
like
at all.
no?
No.
Because they went to Washington, right?
Yeah, they went to
Right?
Washington. I think
Yeah.
most people went to
DC.
the Blue Jays after because
Okay.
it's like, yeah. I don't know. Do people usually follow the
Yeah,
teams? Like, even if it's like a city
Yeah.
that's way
that's where
further
the Rams fans came from. They were in LA and then St. Louis and back to LA, and
Mm-hmm.
and people follow them from like St. Louis to LA?
yeah,
Huh,
because
interesting.
they don't have a team anymore, so it's either adopt somewhere else or
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
follow them. Uh-oh,
Yeah.
I think Joe's.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
I'm
he is.
sure most Raiders fans followed to Las Vegas as well. All right. So I'll start with food. Yeah, I mean, mozzarella sticks always big. I'm a big chicken wing guy,
Mm,
obviously. Buffalo wings usually. So gotta have some chicken wings there.
okay.
Pizza,
Yeah.
have a spread. Pizza, chicken wings, some sort of dip, for sure.
Are you making homemade
Nachos.
pizza, oven pizza, or takeout?
Ooh. Usually for something like this, it'll probably like frozen. Yeah. There's
Little
a really good frozen
tombstone
pizza
action.
around here. Cape Cod Pizza. Actually, it's a more of a local place, but they have them in the my local freezer. It's really really good frozen pizza. Uh, yeah. Usually I'll go to the supermarket, buy a bunch of stuff, and just kind of snack on everything. So that's the basics essentially. I might order chicken wings because frozen chicken wings are never very
No,
good. I feel like so
unless you
you
fry them.
definitely have to order out and get some good wings. Yeah, true. But as far as my pick. I too don't like really either teams. And it's really conflicting because we lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I'm a Patriots fan. We lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl just, 5 or 10 years ago, whenever that was. So that one hurts. Also, the Philadelphia fan base
Ugh,
are
awful.
pretty shitty. Like, they threw Santa snowballs at Santa. That's what they're known for. Um, Amongst other things. And then, the Chiefs are coming after the dynasty that was the Patriots. So it's really tough. But if I've learned anything, it's you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, man. He is unbelievable. The man just until he proves me otherwise, I just can't go against him. So my pick is going to be for the Kansas City Chiefs. As well as begrudgingly as that
So
is,
you
I
think they're
really
gonna
don't
win, or you
want them
want
to
them to
win.
win? Oh, okay.
I,
So
I think I think they're going to win, so that's why I'm
okay,
I'm picking it. But I don't want. I'll be rooting. I'll be actively rooting against them. I think. Like I'd rather Philadelphia win. I think. But as far as I just the amount of money I've lost betting against Patrick Mahomes at this point, I bet against him just last night. With the Bills Chiefs game, and I'm just like, why do I continuously just bet against the Chiefs? They just continuously win. They got I don't know. Do they have the refs on their side? I mean, there's definitely was some really questionable calls this season with them and whatnot, but I don't know. I think that's a whole sort of conspiracy. I think the refs are making shitty calls one way or the other, whether they actually favor the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes or not, who knows? But I don't know. There's some interesting things I heard though. Like I had no idea that there are chips in soccer balls. So now they're talking about putting chips in footballs so they can accurately get like positioning, and I'm all for it. Fuck it. Any way that can make the game as fair as humanly possible, go for it. So put chips in the footballs for next season. I'm into it.
agreed.
All right.
All
Yeah. All right. Well, so there's our Super Bowl bets. We got Todd with the Eagles
right.
and Joe, myself, and Steve with
Mm.
the Chiefs.
So I
And we
get
will
one
come.
movie to be clear. I'm not watching two
Yeah, just
if I
one.
lose.
Yeah, we
We'll pick
can.
one together.
We'll come together and pick something. Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. In 2 weeks, the Super Bowl, February 8th or 9th, somewhere around there.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that in a couple weeks, you will find out who's going to win the Super Bowl bet. All right. Different schedule tonight, I should mention. We're just going to do trivia and the three movies since we have three movie reviews to get through tonight. But before we get into trivia, I do want to mention a programming note. We are going to have a special guest on for next week's episode. Correct, Steve?
Yeah, that's right. So one of the perks for our movie, the last episode, was to be a guest on the podcast and also picked a movie at the same time. And this guest, his name's Austin. He did just that, so we're really appreciative that he did that. So he's going to be on the podcast, and we're going to review a movie called Ghost Watch, which I've never seen. So it's on Shudder in Canada, at least. I'm assuming probably in the US as well. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to talk to Austin. He's been in our Discord a lot lately, and he's a big horror fan. And yeah, it's going to be a fun episode, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Also, don't you have some news about maybe a little teaser trailer coming out?
I do. I'm like at the end game of getting the trailer together. I don't want to put a date out there just in case something happens, but let's just say you'll love the date that I picked. So there you go.
Oh, trickster.
All right, awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen any part of it, so I can't wait to see the teaser trailer myself. So yeah, teaser trailer coming very soon, of course, for our movie, the final episode. We're very excited to get that out to you, and thank you, Austin. Excited to chat with you next week on the pod. And Ghost Watch, yeah, that one I've never seen either. Have you seen it, Todd?
I watched it. I started watching it a couple years ago and never finished it. I got like 10 minutes into it, and then I had to do
Okay,
something. So
awesome.
yeah, fresh watch. I think it's on Tubi for us too, Jeff. We need
Yeah,
more
I
options.
believe it is. I looked it up last night when you guys had mentioned what we were reviewing.
Nice.
Very reminiscent. I know to sort of a Late Night with the Devil type
Mhm.
thing going on with it.
Yeah, I think they're investigating like a haunting or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
and
go in blind this time.
yeah, from my understanding, it's like sort of shot like you're watching like a news broadcast or
Mm,
something like that. So
that's
yeah,
dope.
should be pretty cool. I know it's very well regarded, so I'm excited to check it out. It had a very high rating on Letterboxd, so yeah, that should be a good one. Can't wait. And with none of us really ever watching it, it should be really interesting. And I'm assuming Austin loves it, which we'll find out next week and why he picked it. One last thing before we get into trivia. No news probably for this week and next week since we got a lot going on. So I just wanted to throw out a huge congratulations to some horror movies that got nominated for the Oscars. I mean, this is a massive deal, folks. Horror just never ever gets, when I think we've talked about this, when will the day happen that there'll be a best horror movie category at the Oscars? And hopefully this is a step maybe that category might happen one day because three horror movies have been nominated for the Oscars. Let's start off with Alien Romulus getting a nod for best visual effects. That one is a shocker to me. But hey, the xenomorphs looks cool and everything. Man, I mean, we had some things to say
Sure about
about
that.
we had some things to say about some of those visual effects, but hey, whatever. Also, shout out to Nosferatu, Robert Eggers' movie. Got three Oscar noms for Best Makeup, Best Production Design, and Best Cinematography,
Best mustache.
and Best Mustache. Yes, congratulations. Yeah, man, I think it has maybe a chance at cinematography and makeup. We'll see, or even production design. I think we might Nosferatu might walk away with at least one. I'm kind of shocked it didn't get costuming. I think it deserved it, but and then finally, of course,
Joke, it did.
it did get costuming.
It
Okay,
got four nominations:
four
makeup,
nominations.
production
Okay,
design, costume design, and cinematography.
alrighty.
I mean, what else is going up against it costume design wise? Because I mean, you do a period piece and you knock it out of the park. That's pretty easy, right? And from my perspective.
All right. Well, finally, of course, The Substance, ladies and gentlemen, pulled in five Oscar nominations. Very huge for The Substance. It received a Best Makeup, Best Original Screenplay, a Best Actress nod for Demi Moore, Best Director for Coralie Fajot, and Best Picture nomination as well. Steve's shaking his head. I'm sure I
You
butchered
butchered
her
that.
last name.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not French. I don't speak French, so I'll
Well,
never.
you'll get to know it after she wins Best Director
Yeah.
at the Academy Awards.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I would say best scenario for this is best actress for Demi Moore, I would say. But the fact that, it got a best picture nomination is awesome. And best director, like that is huge for this movie and for the horror genre in general. I just love that like people like film people who want to see like every single best picture nomination are gonna go in and watch this movie and are just gonna be fucking. I think it's just
Super
gonna
horny the whole time.
just. Well, I just like that last like half hour is so fucking like people. I just wish I could see like the reaction to like a old lady or something like that, like watching it for the first time, or these like really snobby like film people who are sitting through a 4 hour The Brutalist movie or whatever, about architecture, and then go and watch The Substance. But that's awesome. I also read it's the first time that three horror movies have been nominated at the Oscars since 1987. So it has been a long time. Those movies, I just read it. It was Poltergeist 2, which I was shocked. I was like, Poltergeist 2 got an
The hell?
Oscar
Yeah, for
nomination.
what?
Probably
That's
visual
insane.
effects or something like.
Yeah, it
Look
was.
this up.
Yeah, look it up, please, because I can't remember the other two movies right now. But I just remember Poltergeist 2 being one of them. Be like, what the hell did Poltergeist 2 get nominated?
Yeah, visual effects overset it.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, so shout out to those three horror movies. It's also the first time, actually, The Substance only joins, the company of some other, only five other, I think, or five or six other horror movies have ever been nominated for a Best Picture nomination. The Exorcist being one of them, Silence of the Lambs.
Actually, I had the list here.
Yeah, perfect.
Deliverance, The Exorcist, Jaws, Silence of the Lambs, which is the only one who's won. The Sixth Sense, Black Swan, Get Out, and The Substance.
Lovely. Silence of
1970, you
Exorcist
said
didn't win?
Jaws for Best Picture?
Yep, got nominated.
What won 1975 Best Picture winner? Because Jaws is fucking amazing. Who beat that?
Mhm.
Godfather 2. Okay, makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. All right. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, hopefully, something can be pulled away, and maybe we'll get a shocker in there. Maybe something will happen there. I don't think it has a chance at Best Picture, unfortunately, but I would love to see Demi get Best Actress. She won the Golden Globe, so I think she has a really really good shot at it. And you never know. Maybe they'll surprise us. Alrighty, gentlemen. I think that's about it. And the Oscars are coming in March, so we'll keep you updated in horror news and on the show once if you don't watch the Oscars. I know a lot of people don't watch it, so for those of you that don't, we'll let you know who won. Alrighty, gentlemen, it is time. Todd, the book's a little light now, but bust it out and give us the scores for trivia.
All right, here it is. Instead of my full book, I got on a little post-it note. We got myself and Joe tied at 3 apiece. Steven with a 0?
We had one good trivia game before this.
Steven, and you had the flu. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, one.
You know what? I don't want to hear it. So, okay, who would like to lead off?
I'll go with my 0 points. All right. So all of these come from Kayla. So thank you very much. Kayla, still using the same list from like 2022 or whatever.
Hey, it was like 20 pages worth. So
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
In House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh,
seen it.
In accordance with his story, what type of dog almost bit the pinky toe off Deputy Nash?
Cocker Spaniel.
Correct.
Yeah, boy. Love that fucking movie. I will go for my massive book of trivia that will be released this year. I think Steve picked first last time.
I did, yeah.
Okay, so Joe, pick a number between 1 and 100,000. I mean, not 100.
100,000.
Go 1450. So 1,450.
All right, let's go 37.
Oh, going back to the beginning. Okay. Let's go with question number 1. In Arachnophobia, movie we watched,
Yes.
Indeed.
where does the super spider originally come from?
Venezuela?
I'll allow it. South America.
Wow.
Okay,
I'll allow it.
Nice.
lovely. Isn't there supposed to be a remake coming for that?
Yeah, they filmed it, I think. and
Allegedly.
everything, but, But
What's
We'll
with them
find out.
filming stuff lately and like never
Yeah.
releasing it?
you know, it must be a
Speaking of
tax credit
film-
or something.
Yeah, seriously.
Speaking of filming and never releasing, Toxic Avenger
Oh,
has
yeah.
been saved, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming. Yeah, it looks like Bloody Disgusting picked it up. The company
Yeah.
Cineverse, yeah, who's owned by Bloody Disgusting or whatever, who saved basically Terrifier 2.
So it's going to Screenbox? Is that what it's doing?
It will eventually. I think it's going to get
Theater first.
a limited theater release, or I doubt it's. I doubt it'll be like a wide release. It'll probably be like what they do with Terrifier. It will be over a weekend or two based on stuff. But yeah, man, Peter Dinklage, fucking Elijah Wood, like a movie
Who's
that
Peter Dinklage in this film? Is it
the Toxie, I
Toxic?
think.
Yeah, has Toxie. Yeah.
interesting?
A movie that was deemed unreleasable by the studios has been saved, so we shall see. I mean, I'm assuming that means they stayed to
Right.
the traditions of the original, and there'll be some shocking shit in it. So yeah, should be cool. Alrighty, I'm next. All right, all winter themed horror, of course, for
Oh.
this week's trivia.
Very cool.
'Cause why not? The thing. All right, this could be in Todd's book of trivia, maybe. Who
Oh.
knows?
I'll search it afterwards and let you know.
In the movie The Shining,
Yeah.
we've seen it. Little movie.
Love it.
Another episode where we did multiple
Yes,
reviews in the same episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
What drink does Jack order from the bar?
Oh my God. Todd even asked this like not too long ago, I feel.
Does he? Is it a brandy?
No.
Dang.
Is it gin and tonic?
Incorrect.
May I try one more
Sure.
time? Try. Is it a I can picture Grady saying it,
Yeah,
right?
that's the
When he
thing.
gets spilled on him. Unless that's not the one you're talking about. But is it like it's like a peach something?
No.
No?
I'm
Okay.
gonna go one more. I'm gonna go gin on the rocks.
Oh, you're so close, Steve.
Oh.
So close. It is bourbon.
Ah,
on the
bourbon.
rocks.
Bourbon on the rocks. See if I have that in
that
the
that
book.
helped me a little bit because when you said that
Bourbon.
the bartender said it, I'm like,
Nope.
oh, he does.
Don't have bourbon in the book. I'm going to have to put that in there.
Nice. All right. Match the killer to the movie.
Ooh.
I think you're gonna have to be quick on this one.
Okay.
Kurt Duncan.
I guess
Ooh,
so.
don't have to be quick because I don't
Okay, apparently.
Kurt
Kurt
Duncan.
Duncan.
Of Dunkin' Donut fames, actually.
Correct.
Oh,
That is-
yeah.
yeah,
Is it
absolutely.
spelled? I think
Yeah.
it's spelled differently, but maybe. I don't know.
Kurt Duncan.
Shout out Dunkin' Donuts, originated in Massachusetts.
You just
And there's-
first you're
there-
talking
there's-
about the pizza, then you're talking about Dunkin' Donuts.
They are fucking everywhere over there too. Jesus.
Yeah,
They are.
Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin', dude.
Yep.
Although I've had it maybe like 3 times in my
Yeah,
entire life.
I
It's
should
not very
judge.
good coffee, honestly.
Yeah,
It's-
It's the exact same thing here with Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons, yeah.
Didn't you? Never mind. We're not gonna get down that fucking rabbit hole. What was the name again?
And it's
Tim Duncan.
Kurt Duncan.
Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan. Kurt Duncan.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
So I will give you guys a hint. It is a movie we reviewed.
Oh gosh.
I'll give you a second hint.
Ooh.
We reviewed more than one movie that episode too.
Oh, shit.
boy.
Wow.
Kurt Duncan. We talked about it. Multiple movie
Yes.
show.
It's not very often we do.
No, it's not
multiple
super
movies.
often. So it's only a
Is
handful.
it what's that movie called with fucking Mark Wahlberg?
Oh,
Is it Mark Wahlberg?
It's Planet of the
Mark
Apes,
Wahlberg?
correct?
he's
No,
in
Mark-
The Happening.
No, Mark Wahlberg. He's like the boyfriend.
Oh,
no.
Fear.
Fear. There you go. Open the fucking door.
It's not
It's definitely not that.
Joe, do you have a
David.
guess?
David's his name in that. No,
Okay.
I
Okay.
get nothing.
So the answer was When a Stranger Calls.
When
Ah,
a stranger calls.
I believe
Okay.
Sam's last episode too.
Nice.
I think her last episode ever was I know what you did
Okay.
last summer.
Oh yeah. Ooh,
And I
correct.
still
No,
know.
I wasn't even on that episode.
Another double episode.
Yeah, it was.
All right, Steve. Oh, good.
I'll do 982.
9. Ooh.
Well,
big
after
dog alert.
1982, which is the year
Nice.
the thing came out.
982.
Mhm.
That's
Also
true.
my birth year.
What if it's a freaking thing question? Let's look.
That'd
It
be
is
cool.
not. It is. Okay. In 30 Days a Night from 2007.
The winter theme, perfect.
Perfect. What town does it take place in?
Barrow.
Barrow, Alaska. Correct.
I just watched a YouTuber go there for
Oh, really?
because of the movie.
That's cool. Does it look
Yeah.
like the movie?
Yeah, actually it does.
Like they filmed it there, you think?
I think so. It's too close to.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's named something else now. They just changed the name recently, but no one accepts that name over there. It's almost like a golf of something that
Golf.
we all know about. Yeah,
You better watch out.
yeah.
Coming for you.
Ooh.
Barrow.
Barrow, Alaska.
I want to go there. That'd be fun.
Sweet.
Did you like it?
Nah, he didn't like the novelty wore off quick because it's a little small town at
Yeah.
the tip of fucking Alaska.
They have a Dunkin'.
No.
They have
And
Tim
they-
Hortons.
you know, they had a
haven't made it that way
sushi
yet.
shop where fucking food is like
Sushi shop.
$60
Oh
because
gosh.
they have a hard time getting
That'd be good
like,
too.
stuff up
Fish.
there.
They got a tank in the back probably.
But they should have plenty of fish up there, though. Come on.
They have a Subway?
Yes.
Nice. All right, anyway.
Eat fresh. Okay.
I,
All right.
I awakened
Three
Steve
letterbox.
tonight. He's at 2.
Yep. That's right.
Dang. Am I done?
3 letterbox reviews. Guess the movie. Question 1. And if you remember the movie well, you might get it right here.
Okay.
That's what you get for switching channels from The Thing to Jack Frost.
Oh, that sounds familiar. What was it?
Is it Halloween?
It is not Halloween.
Oh,
I blew
we
it
gotta
too
wait now.
early. Blew it too early.
Jack Frost would have been, I guess,
don't know.
the Halloween remake.
That's what I meant.
All right, you waiting, Steve?
Oh yeah, of course. Like
Okay.
Dang it.
Number 2, Adventures in Babysitting.
Andres, babies.
Halloween? Halloween 2?
Yeah, hey, that one works. And finally, and remember my theme.
Yeah,
It might help you. Sometimes the kids deserve to die in a horror movie every now and again. This is one of them.
Oh Jesus.
That's a telling one.
I
have a
will say
guess. I have a
it
guess.
Oh,
No
I'll
hints.
go.
Okay.
Let the right one in.
Incorrect.
Oh, may I guess?
Yes.
Before we reset. Unless Steve, you want the reset.
No, go ahead.
Is it Terrifier 1?
It is not.
Ah, dang it. I don't think that's winner in you.
Okay.
I don't remember if we did a full review about this on the podcast, but it was definitely on all of our top 10 of the year list from the year this
From that
came out.
year?
I believe, actually, that might not be true. I think it might have been on 2
Oh,
out of
is
our
it the
3.
Lodge?
It is The Lodge.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It wasn't
Dang,
on- it
Steve,
wasn't
back
on
in
mine.
action, dude.
All
You
right.
like the Lodge?
This one I think you guys know. So
We'll see.
I only put this because I like the question, even though it's easy. What film did actor Willem Dafoe have to have a penis decoy in because it was too big for the screen?
Oh, Antichrist.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Nice job. He's got a big old dong, dude.
Yeah, can you imagine like the director being like, "Look, you're gonna have to put that thing away. We're gonna have to put a prosthetic. It's just too big for our movie."
So did Jeff Bridges for Tron.
Oh, really?
They had a lead like the regular leotard, but he's like, dude, your dick's too big. So they put a
So
Put
you
a
have to
thing
like
over it.
strap it in.
Antichrist, man. That movie's wild.
We might have to do that one day. It's yeah.
It's an interesting one. Yeah.
All right, Joe. 1 in 1,500.
1987.
Wait, 1,500.
I thought he said that. Oh, all
I
right.
said
So let's go.
982.
Oh, okay. Let's
Yeah.
go. 51 based on The Thing from Another World.
I like it.
Mhm.
All the way back to 51. We are looking at In the Final Girls from 2015.
Mm.
What is the name of the horror movie that Amanda, Malin Ackerman, starred in when she was younger? So they're watching a horror film, which they get sucked into. What's the name of that
Yeah. I
Nothing.
don't remember
Yeah.
that at all.
Gir-
Great
girl-
movie.
Girls must die. Like, no.
movie? Well, I'll give you all a hint, and you can reset. The first word is camp.
Yes.
I have no idea. Camp Blood.
Good guess.
Very close.
Camp Massacre.
Incorrect. Joe, you will be the deciding factor if Steve should get this. It's Camp Bloodbath.
Ooh, close. I'd give it to him.
Give it to him.
Sure,
All
why
right.
not?
He's
I don't
got
want
it.
to, but
Well, didn't have to.
All right, Joe. Last question.
Alrighty. Speaking, just random question here. Hard Eyes. How do you guys feel about that? Coming out soon.
Heart Eyes.
Yeah,
Hard
I'm
Eyes.
psyched. You know, it's
Looks
Oh, with
pretty.
the dude
It
from
looks.
Scream.
It looks fun. Yeah.
yeah. We don't get a ton of slashers, so
Yeah. Valentine's Day slasher.
Yeah, it could be good.
Looks pretty gory. But I got a Red Band trailer when I went and saw Presents over the weekend. Looks pretty cool.
What'd you see over the weekend?
Presents.
What's that?
Steven Soderbergh's new movie. It's about like a haunted house.
Oh, good.
I will talk about it
I want to know
on
now.
What Watch. I'll mention on What Watch next week. I'll go more in depth into it. I will say go in not expecting a horror movie, and you'll probably get more enjoyment out of it. It's not a scary movie. I wouldn't rush out to see it in theaters. I'll
Got
just
it.
say I'll leave it at
that's
that.
I actually
But
was planning to go Sunday, and when Joe told me that, and then someone else told me that, I was like, you know what? I'll wait to
it's
for
it's a
it's streaming.
it's a good movie though. It's just
Yeah.
not really a horror movie, I would say. But
Right.
okay. Alrighty, last one for me. Or is this the last one of the night?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, last one of the night. Guess the movie based on the IMDb information. This movie was released in the year 2007 with an R rating, clocking in at 1 hour and 53 minutes.
A long one.
Categorized
long,
as categorized as horror and thriller. Currently sitting at a 6.6 out of 10 over on IMDb with a Metascore of 53.
Okay.
Director David Slade.
David Slade.
Starring Melissa George, Danny Houston,
It's
Mark Rendell.
30 Days a Night.
It is 30 Days a Night.
Oh, nice.
Melissa George got it for me.
All right.
Nice. All right. Well,
I had goose egg tonight, I think.
you got one.
I did get one. All right.
You got one.
You got Antichrist.
Yeah, you got Antichrist. You got Willem Dafoe's big dong.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dong expert.
He knows his dongs, man. All right, Steve with the huge night. Shouldn't say anything in the beginning. With the 4 spot, myself 2, Joe 1, which brings us to myself. Hanging on till with 5. Steve coming out of nowhere to tie it up with Joe at 4 apiece.
All right. Lovely. All righty. Let's do it, gentlemen. It is time for our main events of the evening. A triple feature tonight. It has been a long time since we've done anything like this. So get on your winter coat because we are heading to the Arctic as we will be covering the 3 Thing movies. And let's start off with 1951's The Thing from Another World. Directed by Christian Nyby and Howard Hawks. Starring Margaret Sheridan, James Arness, Robert Cornthwaite, and Kenneth Tobey. Plot: scientists and American Air Force officials fend off a bloodthirsty alien organism while at a remote Arctic outpost. Totter, you got triple duty tonight, buddy. I hope you're ready for it.
Well, I took 3
Let's.
separate notes.
All
You ready
right.
for it? All right.
Let's hear it.
We got a bunch of military dudes, right? They're up in the Arctic. They're fucking pounding cigarettes. They're playing cards. They're talking about ladies they want to hook up with, but in the nice 50s version. Okay, let's be respectful, gentlemen. And they're just having a great time, man. There's a reporter, a little snot-nosed reporter that comes up there. He's like, hey, you got any fucking stories for me? Like, shut up, Paul, what the fuck his name was. He's poking his nose into things. They're gambling, things like that. Turns out our lead army pilot there's got a girl at this Arctic outpost out in the boonies there. She's supposed to be some hot doctress. They get a mission to go investigate this crash site because that Arctic base is like, hey, like someone's fucking with our instrumentation, blah blah blah. We think something crashed. Let's go find out. They fly up there, they investigate, we meet our cast of characters, they're on a research, there's a research expedition, they got the hot chick, they got the military guys, they're mixing, intermingling, things like that. They go out to the crash site, and lo and behold, there's a fucking spaceship in the ice, man. And they managed to take a frozen alien carcass, pilot, whatever you want to call it, back to the base. It thaws out. We got our movie. First time for me. It's been one of those movies where like you kind of already know what happens, right? Because you've seen John Carpenter's The Thing, so you kind of know the basis of this. We see it in snippets on, bunch of horror movies already, but first time actually sitting down and watching it, and I really loved it, man. I had a great time with this. It really felt like a Outer Limits slash uh what's the fucking the main one? The serial.
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone, there you go. It felt like just an episode of that, man. I was really into it. I love the characters. They all mix well together. I love that they shot in like a freezer in LA, so they had like the real fog of their mouth coming out. That was a cool touch. Is the creature goofy as fuck? Absolutely, man. It's the 50s though, so you got to go there. Do they make stupid fucking choices? Like, you gotta burn the whole fucking place down, guys, with this liberal kerosene that you're throwing around. But overall, I had a great time with it. And yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, this was also a first time watch for me. Yeah, never seen this one. Also never saw the remake either. Only Carpenter's The Thing is the only one I actually watched. Yeah, I mean overall I don't know, like I thought it was fine. Like it just didn't like blow me away or anything like that. I mean, granted, you're right, Todd. It is like 1950s cinema. So I guess I got to be a little bit more forgiving about, the I guess limits they probably had back then and whatnot. But for me, it just like the movie really lacked tension. Like, like I felt like it was just like one scene after another where like it just felt like really rushed. And I felt like it needed to breathe on some of the scenes that deserved tension, like when they're waiting for the alien to come in and stuff like that. But instead, like the alien always just seems to sort of rush in too fast. And for me, like it took a lot away from the movie, and I did like how they had sort of that meter they used, but I just feel like once again, like it was just rushed, like where they really could have built up more tension throughout, but it just didn't do it. It just moved at too fast of a pace for me. I liked sort of the crew though. I thought, the military versus scientist plot was pretty cool. But once again, just under sort of utilized and underdeveloped. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was fine, but just overall, I left a bit disappointed though at the end of the day.
So I'd seen pieces of this one because I used to watch a channel that played a lot of old movies, and this is one of the ones that played on rotation a lot. So I've seen like bits and pieces, but actually never actually watched like the whole thing. And I'm closer to Todd on this one. I actually really, really liked it. I thought it was a fun film. For the early 50s, they do a lot of things effectively. I actually disagree with Joe in the sense that I think the tension came from not really knowing what that thing is for the majority of the film and not really knowing when it was going to pop back up because there are long periods of time where we don't see the thing. It's just basically the scientists and the military people arguing over like strategy. And, at one point, the Professor Voorhees, he's like building plants and stuff like that from which is basically what the thing is doing. And I actually really like the tension between the two groups. It's actually something that, I was kind of missing a little bit in like watching the other ones later. The military presence, we don't really get that in the other ones. It's just scientists basically. So yeah, there's a lot of things I enjoyed. Now I agree with both of you that the look of the thing is, leaves a little bit to be desired, but you also have to kind of accept that 1952, they're not going to have the best thing. But then again, there's some amazing fucking makeup before this, Phantom of the Opera and there's a bunch of them. So yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it. But I think having watched it first, like I watched them in order of release, probably helped my score because I didn't watch like the other thing in 2, 3 years. So it like had I watched this last, I would have been like, okay, I've seen the story play out now and I'm kind of bored. Whereas but yeah, and it's funny to see that some of the stuff from 1950, like they just like casually throw around like we just got a queer message, but of course, queer back then meant weird. And yeah, there's some moments that I definitely want to discuss with you guys, but overall, I enjoyed it.
Let me throw out my favorite line. It's along the same lines as your queer message there. We already pulled a boner out there on the ice.
Yeah.
It's like yes. Which leads me to one of my notes here, like operating procedure, my ass, dude. You're lighting thermite on top of the ship. You don't know what that ship's made of. You fucking blew it up, you psychos.
Yeah.
I just thought that was pretty funny. Like, oh, we fucking destroyed the spaceship. Oh well.
Yeah, that was so fucking funny. The way that they like just casually fucking detonate it and just like, oh, all right, too bad.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a good plan, really. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't have blown it up, right? Like I feel like at that point you're calling in sort of like
Calling people instead of trying to break
yeah.
into it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like you would call like almost like they did in we'll get into it obviously in the 2011 one, but you go and get like what do you call them archaeologists or something like that to try to like like figure
Yeah.
out how to get this thing up safely. But instead they're just like no, let's just fucking blow it up and we'll get to it, and they fucking destroy the ship in the process. But luckily I guess the alien made it out. But I did like that aspect of it. Like Carpenter's is very different than this, which obviously we'll get into as well. But like, it's interesting because like I feel like he didn't pull like a ton like from this movie, like in comparison when you're like watching them both. Like, it was very very different. Like I was expecting a little more of the same, but like he only really cherry picked sort of the Arctic
It's
like
almost a sequel.
outpost. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how
I
I
guess.
felt. Yeah, it felt almost like a sequel to
Mhm.
this one.
Hmm. Yeah, because a lot of the stuff we see at the Norwegian base is what we see in the this
Right.
this first movie here.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Can we let the dog sleep inside? Do they really need to sleep out in the
Dude,
fucking
Huskies
minus
actually
60.
love. Yeah, well,
Minus
that's
60.
minus
There's
60?
no
that
fucking
might be
way.
too cold. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Huskies do love the cold and they love like
Yeah,
being
but it's
outside
the
and stuff.
fucking
But
Arctic.
yeah,
It's Antarctica.
yeah, I don't know if it could survive in -60 degrees
The
though.
dog's just
But
fucking chilling.
yeah,
I'm like, dude.
Mhm.
I have my one note about the doctor, and this is very scientific. The main doctor is a bitch ass hoe. I fucking hated him, dude. It's always that fucking scientist that doesn't want to play ball, and he's worried about his. We have so much to learn from this man. We cannot kill him. You military men always want. Bitch, he's gonna infect the entire world. You stupid asshole. And he's got like his little science experiments, and he's like trying to break him out. That motherfucker deserved to die at the end, and he only like broke
Mhm.
his collarbone. Give me a break, dude.
Hmm. One thing I had an issue with was the military never would have allowed that journalist. I feel like to just sort of report on all this and like be like, oh, well, give us a little time and then you can do your reporting. They probably would have honestly, they probably would have shot him like and been like, we cannot let this out, at all costs or whatever. But instead, they're just like, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe it was different back in the 50s. The government wasn't
I mean, we
covering
had
everything up like they
Roswell
are
in the
now,
50s,
but
so I don't think it was that
they
different.
covered that up. That
Right.
got covered up though. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
So
That's my point. Like,
yeah.
they didn't report on that, and that's
Right.
what.
Yeah. They probably would have in real life they probably would have fucking shot and killed that journalist and been like, "Oh, he fucking sunk in the ice."
And all the doctors probably too,
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially the guy who fucking put the heated
especially the
blanket
bitch
on
Adam.
the ball.
Yeah,
on
what
the
an idiot.
ice.
Can we talk about that? Like, Jesus. I mean, I guess you had to find a way to
Right,
thaw
to get
this
him
thing
out.
out. So, I mean, I guess I'll go with it, But why was the blanket on there to begin with?
He was
Because
hiding the
he was
face.
freaked out.
He was just
Yeah.
freaked out. Okay.
Yeah, because they said that the eyes were like staring at them.
Could
and
could a heated blanket really thaw that thing out that
oh,
fast?
probably yeah. In
You
the
think? Yeah.
1950s, that thing was probably made of radiation.
Probably, yeah. True. True. We need those good heated blankets back, I guess.
Damn safety hazards.
Heated blanket guys, so you guys Sam's a big
No.
Sam uses
No.
a heated blanket almost like nightly in the winter. But
I have two cats that sleep on top of me every night.
Yeah.
I got my own heated blanket.
But no, he was railing that one chick, and
Oh yeah.
apparently he got fucking blackout drunk at their one date and made a fool out of himself.
Oh yeah. I remember
She
that.
kept bringing it up, and then
You did mention.
it was kind of strange though, like with all going on. I mean, a typical guy, I guess, but with all going on, he's like still trying to get some, and
Mhm.
he's like, "Let's go back to your office and drink. You can put me in handcuffs." And she puts him in handcuffs, dude, or ties him up.
They
But
were
then
kinky.
they were into it, man.
Yeah.
But I looked at her. She had she died pretty young. I researched
Yeah,
like the entire
like
cast. I'm sure
54.
you guys did. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that the young guy made it to fucking 2018?
Did he
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
That was the last
Him.
surviving cast member.
that's nuts.
Hmm.
Interesting.
But Yeah, back to the burning everything scene. Like, man, they're very liberal with
Oh my
throwing
God.
fucking
Like,
kerosene around. And like it, they have like she gets a blanket to protect herself from it. Like
yeah, usually.
it's fucking insane.
Isn't it like a couch cushion or something?
It's
Like,
something, yeah, which is
yeah,
probably super flammable back then.
right.
But
Mhm.
yeah, I just thought that was funny. What
And,
about their plan to
and
kill him?
yeah,
Or go ahead.
and I need to say it again. It's minus 60 out there. If you're like, they're breaking windows, they're fucking like just
Mhm.
leaving the door open. Man, there ain't no way they would have frozen to death.
Yeah. The plan to
Yeah.
kill him was cool. I guess, right? Like, let's fucking electrocute this thing, I guess. Like, it's better than any other option, I suppose.
Yeah. And you know what was really cool though? I really like they didn't show it, which I guess they couldn't, but he murders two of the guys that were the scientists, and they're like, "We saw them and they were strung up by their feet." And like like I'm like, "Oh, like the creature is pretty brutal." And it sucks we didn't really get to see that, but
Yeah.
as far as those two guys dying, was there anyone else that I mean, the doctor got slapped
Hmm.
and then like he chased people around, but I don't remember there being a lot of
Yeah.
kills in this.
They're all off
No,
screen.
they're all off
Uh,
screen. Yeah, there's not
Okay.
anything that's actually on screen from what I
Oh, and the
remember.
dogs bite his fucking arm off.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. Well, he does kill a few dogs, right? I
Yeah.
guess.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
Which they probably
but
killed for real.
human wise, I don't recall too much death in here. But it makes sense. I mean, it's the
yeah,
50s, right? Yeah, I mean,
right,
they
exactly.
weren't really going too crazy. I'm sure people lost their shit though. Like, I'm sure this scared the shit out of people
Well,
back in the
apparently
50s.
this movie like influenced some of the biggest directors, in horror. Like
Hmm.
obviously Carpenter, I think Romero was one of them.
Right.
Wes Craven was one of them. So it was
How do
very
you feel
Yeah.
about
influential.
the thing being like a plant-based creature?
I was fine if they kept going with that.
Yeah.
The kind of Frankenstein's monster thing that comes out wasn't
Yeah, it looks
it,
just like Frankenstein's monster.
because there are so many movies from the 50s that have monsters that look like that. Like a lot of
Yeah.
them, it's just like these big guys essentially.
Yeah.
So it would have been cool if it was more like a or like plant-based organism rather than that.
Just like a
Agreed.
dude with leaves on him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
But-
whatever, hey, whatever. I would have preferred it, honestly. It would have been more interesting than kind of what they gave us because it was just very underwhelming, like, our alien reveal.
Yeah, I guess that actor was embarrassed too of his work because he looks so goofy. But
Kind of reminds me, going back to like the Twilight Zone, it reminds me of like those sort of like big head things in
mm,
in the Twilight Zone a bit. Like, I can't remember, I don't even know what came
to
first,
to
but
serve man, that episode.
yeah.
Nice.
Hmm. Probably came out around the same time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, roughly. All right, that about it, gentlemen, for this one.
Yeah, I think so. It's a straightforward sci-fi
Yeah,
horror
it's
adventure.
it's
Yeah.
and it's fairly short too. It's only like an hour and 20, so it's pretty smooth, about 80 minutes, I think, roughly.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty quick watch. I'll start us off because I seem to be the weakest on this one. I mean, I think it's a fine movie. I mean, but like when I mean, I guess you shouldn't compare them to Carpenter's The Thing and the remake, but yeah, I think we'll rate them after the fact. But yeah, man, I don't know. I was just like underwhelmed. I don't. I'm sure at the time it was very like sort of big, and obviously thank you for this movie because like you said, it inspired a lot of horror directors and stuff like that. But just going back now, like I've seen just a lot better versions of this, and also like I've seen better stuff from like the 50s and before. So to me it was just like okay, it's not something I see myself really revisiting too much. Would I watch it again though? I mean, yeah, probably. It's definitely like fun and has that sort of old school vibe, but I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5.
All right. I'm going higher. I'm going with a 4 out of 5 because I thought it was charming. And there's just something about this era, the old school monster, military scientist thing. Throw in the location, which obviously we have better versions of this coming up with our review, but I just liked it, man. I had a good time, and I love the way people talk back then, like they're all like how their inflection with their voice and things like that. So yeah, it's a solid 4 out of 5 for me.
I'm right between you guys. 3.5 stars out of 5. I liked it. It was fun. Like Todd. I really like this era. It's just fun. There's something about it that just feels like more real, I guess, because I don't know. I feel like people were just kind of acting in a way that didn't feel fake, and it just yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. Right now, it's actually in my top 10 of the pre 1960s,
Hmm.
but that could change. I have a ton of movies to watch between now and then. But yeah, I definitely respect this movie. It was I'm glad I got to finally watch the whole thing from beginning to end.
Alrighty. And what do our friends over at Letterboxd have to say about this one? Currently sitting at an average of 3.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. So yeah, right there, pretty much between all of us. So yeah, makes sense. Alrighty. Well, that's it, folks. No, I'm just kidding. We got two more. We got two more. We're going ahead, and let's head out to 1982 now with John Carpenter's The Thing, starring Richard Mazer, Wilford Brimley, diabetes,
Damn it, as we did. Diabetes.
Keith David, and of course, Kurt Russell. Plot: a research team in Antarctica is hunted by a shape shifting alien that assumes the appearance of its victims. Totter,
Mhm.
round two.
All right, round two, I'm up. All right, we open on a fucking flying saucer zipping through space. It's going towards Earth. What's happening? I don't know. We are suddenly in the Arctic and we're following a helicopter around. Oh, this looks like a nice flight. Oh, there's a dog down there. Holy shit, they're trying to kill this fucking dog. Why? We have to pretend we don't know why, right? Because it's the movie that we're reviewing and maybe someone hasn't seen it yet. If you haven't seen The Thing from 82, you need to stop and you need to go watch the movie and then you come back because we're gonna spoil it and there's tons of spoilers, right? We arrive at the American Arctic base and we meet a team of researchers, one of which is Kurt Russell, McReady, who is there a cooler fucking guy in horror than McReady? Seriously? Like,
He's
I'm
up
like,
there
dude,
for
I
sure.
want to hang out with this guy, man. Like, I don't know. He's just fucking dope. Even with the goofy fucking hat, he's still cool as hell. Yeah, Kurt Russell and group, they take the dog in, not knowing that it's, spoiler, infected with alien creature. The Norwegian guys, they're trying to kill it. One of the researchers in the American base shoots that motherfucker in the head. The helicopter blows up accidentally because of dumb shit. Tries to throw a grenade, slips out of his hands, fucking slapstick humor, and it blows up the helicopter. So they don't know what's going on, man. But they decide to go to the Norwegian base to see, like, what the fuck? Like, why is this guy freaking out? They go over there, place is completely torn up. Dudes are dead. The thing's been, gutted with flame. And they find a block of ice that's been melted, and it's like, what the fuck was in this ice, boys? I don't know. And then flash forward a little bit, we're back at the Arctic base, and turns out this fucking dog has some kind of weird parasite, alien, something inside of it. We're looking at the Norwegians' research. They found this alien ship out there. Why didn't they fucking call us assholes? And then now we're with this cast of characters that are trying to survive in the fucking Arctic. They can't reach anybody on the radio. They can't fly out, obviously. So they have to fucking figure out who's being taken over by the creature, how to survive, how to kill it, and so on. Um, where do I start, man? This is a fucking good movie, dude. That's a good movie. Cast of characters, all the dudes are really well done. You kind of believe that they are a group that's been together a long time. Kurt Russell, like I said, is fucking badass. Keith David, come on, man. Keith David, that voice, fucking badass. Um, the when you're looking at it too, like this time I was trying to look like, okay, like is it obvious who's the thing at this point? Like who's the creature? When did they get taken over? You see the dog like sneak in and you see him walking into a room with the guy that's by himself and oh, okay, that's the moment. You know what I mean? So like watching it from that lens is really cool. I mean, the setting is fucking diabolical, man. Like you can't go scarier and more isolated than, the Arctic, space, and like a submarine, right? And this one's the Arctic and it's fucking cool. Love the cast, like I said. Love the way they're dealing with things. The gore, come on. Practical effects, amazing, but I'll stop talking. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I've this movie's amazing. Like I think it was like my number 2 or 3 in our best of the decade 1980s list, and for good reason. I mean, it's an absolute classic to me. It's John Carpenter's masterpiece. Like, say what you want about Halloween, that's amazing too, but I mean, everything about this movie is just amazing to me, down to the setting, the cast, the practical effects, just everything is just done so good in this movie. he really immerses you in this atmosphere. Like you can really, it just feels cold, watching. It really is the perfect winter movie, and the setting is great. You really feel the isolation with these characters, and just the development of all these characters. Like you actually care what is happening to every single one of these guys, pretty much throughout. It's a great whodunit. Like I don't think you ever, to me, like I never really knew who was infected and who wasn't. He did such a great job. And it's just like there's so many memorable scenes in this movie. It's just so good, and we'll get into it more. But go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, also in my top three probably of the 1980s, it's just such a fucking masterpiece. I mean, the thing with this is that, no pun intended, almost any one of the creatures in this movie would be the highlight of your
Mm.
movie. But there's so many fucking like epic, fucking memorable creatures in this that it's insane. Like you almost forget of scenes when, as I put it so gently, Blair finger fucks the captain. Like it's in any other movie that'd be almost like one of the most memorable scenes, but in this one, it's like overshadowed by so many other fucking cool things that, yeah, this movie's just good on almost every level. I mean, like you said, it's scary because of the isolation. You feel, the tension, but also the friendship between every character. They want to believe each other, but at the same time, they're trying to save themselves. It's like such a cool fucking movie in almost every way. I mean, there are very few issues that I have with the overall movie. It's just definitely one of the best, honestly, of all time. I'm sure it'll probably pop up in my top 10, of all time when we get there. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start, really. I mean, there's just I think the movie's just timeless, man. Like everything holds up. Like the practical effects still hold up. Like to this day, they fucking look incredible for a movie that came out, 40 years ago. Like holy shit. Like it's incredible. Like what they were able to accomplish, back then. It's amazing that it still holds up. It still looks awesome. It's just like kudos. Like I said, I mean, that's why this is Carpenter's masterpiece, man. Like he just like he paid attention to like every single detail, the stuff him and his team created. Like I don't even know. Like just starting with sort of the dog monster, I guess. Like fucking like looks so good, and just like the progression of like all of these just sort of like you said, Steve, like every single like one of these monsters like would be memorable, like if it just was that one. But like the fact that they just kept trying to top it like with every single thing, and yeah, man, incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty telling, man. I wrote one note on this because I was invested
Yeah,
and I wanted
you're
to watch.
ingrained. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the details and yeah, I don't even know where to go with it. It's just fucking good.
There is one effect that I think has not aged all that well, and
Hmm.
that is the spaceship going into orbit
Sure.
at the
Yeah.
beginning of the film.
That's always like
That
even with
wasn't real?
even with like They Live, there was like some questionable
Sure.
shit like whenever you deal with like yeah,
And
but
I love how their fucking like little Atari computer is like calculating the percentage of like how the world will react with the disease and everything. Like, fuck off. Like, you could barely play tic-tac-toe on computers back then,
hmm
Well,
let
he was playing
alone.
chess with it and he fucking
Chain
ruined it.
Plus
Yeah,
with Adrienne Barbeau, right? It was Carpenter's wife at the time. She's the voice
right.
of
That's right.
on the computer.
I love how he fucking like just puts coffee in it. He's so frustrated with it. Equipment's probably super hard to get by. They might
That
not
was
get
probably like
another
$4,000
computer.
back then too.
Yeah, and like getting it there, it's like, yeah. But yeah, like you guys said, man, it's almost like there's so much to say because there's so much going on, but also nothing to say because it's such a fucking masterpiece that it's like, where do you
Hmm.
focus, Well, what do you guys think of because this will come into play in the other thing in 2011, of the blood test? Did you like that whole like kind of tension
Yeah,
of, okay, whose blood is infected and who
it's fun.
isn't?
Yeah, yes, it's awesome. It's one of the most memorable scenes in the entire movie. I mean, I literally have in my collection like a McGrady blood
I have a
sample
Palmer,
thing. Yeah,
in my
yeah. I mean,
collection.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, man, it's awesome. Like, right? It's like just it's yeah, it's a great way to build the tension. Like every time, he puts that piece of wire into the blood to find out, you're like, oh fuck, is this gonna be the one? Is this gonna be? And then when it finally happens and the fucking thing like just fucking explodes and like jumps and shit, you're like, holy fuck. Like it just you weren't even expecting it, you know what I mean? And it's amazing. It's easily one of the best scenes of the movie.
Yeah, no, I love that scene too. And my favorite part of it though is when just like thinking from their perspective, if I'm locked up on that bench next to him, I'd be
Mm.
like shitting my pants because like when that one creature attacks, they're like, get the fuck out of here. And they're like helpless and they're stuck on it and it's lifting up and like that they're just watch the dude's fucking head get bitten and like shake around like a limp doll. No, it's so fucking cool. And then like at the end too, doesn't it? No, that's a different scene, right? Where the little spider head walks away.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that like
The
that
Norse
scene too.
spider.
Yeah, in the background, you just see his head walking away. I'm like, holy fuck, this movie's crazy.
Dude, like I don't even know like what my favorite creature or moment is because like there's so fucking many in this, the
It's
spider head is
iconic, man.
definitely cool. I mean the
Yeah.
fucking merged heads is cool. Like
Which
that's
it took. They in the It remake, they totally
yeah.
ripped it off. Yeah.
Or did they?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Right. Oh, all right.
There's a reason. It's not just for fun.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
okay. Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. Yeah, but yeah, like I don't know. Like the whole movie is so good, that it's like and the thing about so apparently the book so all this is all based on a book has the kind of imitation thing that they do in this one that they didn't do in the original. And I
Right.
think it works so well because you really never know
Yeah.
who is the next infected one. And I that just creates tension automatically just that, let alone all the fucking crazy other things that happen in this.
So the creature, like if I'm the creature and I infect Joe, then both of us are creatures, or does it keep transferring from one to the other to the other to the other?
It
And
just
then
seems to want to adapt to humans.
right,
But
so eventually all of them will be things, and they're just like, all right, we're cool, we're things now.
I don't know, right? Like I guess, right? Like does it spread? I guess like it seems to jump from host to host when it's threatened. So I think it's trying to just blend in with
Hmm.
its environments like
There
one
are
by
definitely
one and
multiple
one.
things though.
Yeah, so that's my next question. Is there,
Yeah.
when they're all trying to figure it out, there's multiple things in that room then, right?
Mhm.
Okay, got it. Okay. But it only takes like a little
Mostly
bit to infect somebody, right?
you never see like an infection, right? Like it's always just off screen and look, which keeps the mystery. I mean, it infects the
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because like, 2011, I watched them like back to back. So there's some of them that you watch the infection. I just don't remember if it's this one. It like spits at people and
Oh,
uh,
it does spit the fucking jizz at the
yeah,
dogs.
right.
Was that
Hmm.
like what was that? Because we never see that again, right?
Not
In this
No.
really. See
version?
that's the thing. Like it constantly takes new forms, so it's
Mhm.
difficult to like pinpoint exactly what it is.
Yeah. I feel bad for the dog handler though. He loved the dogs, man.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
McCready's over there fucking blasting them in front of him.
Right.
You know what's funny though? It's probably my only pet peeve or Todd gripe is when they burn the dogs for like 3 seconds and then they
Oh
put them
yeah.
out. I'm like, really? That
I
killed the
I wrote
monster?
that same note. Yeah. Like immediately they put
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah, like it's like a burst of flames. All right, put it up. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
But I really want to talk about the ending, guys. Like the
Yeah, I
very
was gonna
ending,
say
if you guys are ready for it.
let's get to yeah, for sure.
So, Mac, whatever. So at one point, Childs is left behind to guard an entrance or something. And then we, as the
Hmm.
audience and the character, see Childs walk off. So that's obviously like, oh fuck, what's going on with that? But we don't see him for the rest of the movie. Mac, destroys a creature who was building a new spaceship, right? So he destroys that, comes back. Max burned the entire building down. He's gonna die. Childs comes up out of nowhere. And he's like, where the fuck were you? He's like, I thought I saw so and so. I'm like, are you like basically, is one a monster? Are both a monster? Or none of them a monster? Why do you think what is your thought? Because I have my thought, but what do you guys think?
Sure. I mean, this is the debate, right? That's been raging for 40
Yeah.
years, which is what makes this movie so memorable, iconic, like masterful. I don't know. Has Carpenter ever spoken
I'm
like
Googling that
on
right now,
this?
actually.
I'm sure he has. I think he wants you to make up the decision for yourself. And I know like there are so many different theories out there because I think there was like something about, one of them doesn't drink the alcohol at the end when they're sort of letting it burn up. I'm assuming they're both going to die anyway. Well, the human aspect is going to die, right? Because like they're going to,
Yeah,
one of them's going to freeze to death. Um,
one or both.
one or both, depending if, obviously the alien you would think is in one of them, right? And I think based on like if just like you take it just, without really thinking too much, my immediate thought is uh Childs is the one that's infected, right? Keith David's character. Or I'm so, yeah. My that's always been sort of my thought is that it's Childs, but could it be McCready? Sure.
It certainly looks like shit. Like,
Yeah, right.
but can it be both though? Because wouldn't they be like, okay, let's just wait out to die, and then be like, we got him, like,
We win.
like we won. So I don't. I think one of them has to be
One or
still
none.
human at that point. And yeah, I think it would have to be Childs more so than McCready because we do follow McCready quite a bit. But they do put like little hints that could be him.
So
Mhm.
let's go back a little bit further, though. So Mac's clothes are found tore up. And what
Yeah.
was the reasoning for that? Someone framed him, quote unquote?
Yeah, but he also the blood test is after that, isn't it?
I don't know, but
So
he was controlling the blood. He was the only one controlling it, so he could
yeah,
have fucked with it.
he could have. Yeah.
But okay, so here's my train of thought here. One, we never see Child's breath in the snow, and it's cold as fuck, and they make that an emphasis of McReady to see every time he breathes, it's cold air, right? Warm air, whatever. So that's one against Childs. Two, why did Childs walk off? He was part of the plan saying, we're gonna go look, you stay fucking here. That's another point against him. But the point for him though is Childs walks up on a wounded McCready who can't fight anymore. Childs has a flamethrower. If he was the creature, he would just fucking burn his ass, right? And all right, I won. There's no threat anymore because I killed this fucking human. I'm gonna freeze to death. He'll come back in a couple months and thaw me out, and I'll take over the world. So that's why I think none of them are the thing. And the tragedy is they won, but at the sacrifice of themselves because their plan worked. They destroyed the whole base. They can't survive, but now they're gonna have to fucking die essentially in pain and alone because they can't fucking confide in each other. So I think none of them are the thing, just for the reason that Childs, if he was one-on-one with McReady, who's almost dead, it makes no sense to assimilate him. So just fucking burn him up, call it a day, thaw out, and you're good. So I think none of them are affected.
Okay, well, I just pulled this up on IMDb. What did John Carpenter have to say about this? Well, in an interview in February 2013, when asked about the ambiguous ending of the film, John Carpenter responded that he never understood how there could be any confusion
Huh.
about whether Childs or McCready are human or not, because the last scene shows, and this is a direct quote from John Carpenter, Kurt Russell and Keith David staring each other down, harshly backlit. It's completely glaringly obvious that Kurt Russell is breathing and Keith David is
Huh.
not.
Okay, well, there's your answer.
So
My
there.
point number two, his breath. So
Yeah.
Childs wins and just lets him die, huh? Or McCready
Well, McCready, yeah,
off camera.
I would think so. McCready would kill him, like if he's, I would assume so, or Childs. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, they're both. If McCready can kill him some way or the other, McCready's dying anyway. So either that alien's getting out, or it's not. Or is it? Like, where's the alien go from there anyway? Really? I mean, I guess it just can wander the Arctic for.
So
It could be like, in fucking hibernation for another 100,000 years.
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Well, it's gonna,
suppose.
he's gonna get found though by the American team that comes back though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was his
that's
plan.
that's
So
true.
I don't know how I feel about John Carpenter though, Steve, because I mean, Joe, as far as in 2024, he told comicbook.com that yes, I know who the thing is, um, and who's not at the very end, but I cannot tell you, sorry. So is he
Yeah,
being
I
an
mean,
asshole?
I
Is
think yeah.
he
I mean, sure, he could just be sort of being like just he
coy?
probably wants to keep the mystery going, right? Like I'm sure he when he wrote the movie and finished it, he's like, he knows, but maybe he just throws these breadcrumbs out to fuck with people even more to keep that sort of mystery going. But yeah, I'm pretty convinced it's Childs is the alien
Yeah.
at the end.
I like it. I dig it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Alrighty.
Steve, you said Childs too?
Yeah, I think Charles too.
Well, la-di-da.
Before we rate it, I just want to ask Joe, because I was at Texas Frightmare with you that year. What was it
Yes.
like meeting the entire cast? Well, the living cast minus Kurt Russell. What
I was
was
gonna say
Sure.
Kurt Russell was there. Holy shit!
no, Joe
Right.
played Kurt Russell.
No.
He played McCready.
I did. I played Kurt Russell and
I remember that.
in the
I kept
picture.
thinking about your
Yeah.
cosplay actually when I was watching Kurt Russell. I'm like, it's pretty,
Yeah.
he did pretty good.
Yeah. I was looking for the hat so bad, but like I couldn't find anything as cool. And like you can buy one, but it was like $350.
Oh, my
Like
word.
someone makes it, and I was like, nah, I don't need it that bad. I'll just yeah. I did it. Yeah, it was I did a good enough job with it. It was fun.
Probably,
Yeah,
probably
man,
one
I
of
was
your best
able to meet.
ones.
Yeah, thank you. I was able to meet Carpenter at that one, and then the whole cast sans Carpenter because Carpenter apparently didn't want to be in the photo with them all. But yeah, everybody was there. Yeah, every living cast member
Keith David was there too.
besides Keith
Yeah,
David.
but he left the last day because he was sick. I
Oh.
remember.
Did
Yeah,
you
that's right.
get
He
a
got
sig
sick.
from him, Joe, or did you just
I did.
take that picture?
Yep.
Oh, very cool. How much is Keith David charging?
He signed. I want to say he was 50.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it was
that's
he's
fucking
50. Yeah, I
that's
think so.
good. Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude's a legend for
Hell
sure.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I got
Strike
him
of the
signed. I
beans.
had him sign I had him sign my poster, my big poster project I have, and then I had him sign a note picture, for Sam, like it's like an 8x10 of with like the coin going through his eye from Nope, it was like him on like his death, like it was pretty cool. But yeah, Keith David's awesome. Yeah, they were all there. That was awesome. Yeah, very memorable. They had it sort of set up like you were. They could have set it up better, but they had it kind of set like you were in the dog pen. And I think like the dog is there or whatever. But it was super super cool. It had the blood thing, and I'll post a picture. I'll post a picture of it on the Discord. At some point next week once this episode releases so everyone can see it who hasn't seen it. And I dressed like McCready when I met Carpenter as well, and obviously he could give two shits, but
Yeah,
He
that's
didn't
for
give a
sure.
fuck.
I'm sure he's seen a million McCreadys, But I also
Oh.
brought a Michael Myers mask he's holding in it, and I brought a Christine license plate too, so I was trying to
Let's go.
throw in as many movies as I could, but that
He's
was
like,
very
sweet,
cool.
Michael Myers. Haven't seen that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Haven't held a million Michael Myers masks at this point in my life. But yeah, that was pretty cool. And me and Steve met Carpenter together
Oh, yes, we did.
at Frightmare as well. And it was like, I think we've mentioned this before, but to me, it was like the soup Nazi where you don't talk to
Oh
him.
my
You just
God.
put the thing down and you just move along.
Yeah,
He's just a grumpy man,
yeah,
I will say though, he's like, I've been to his Q&As and he's actually seems to be quite friendly, like during the Q&As, but like during the autograph shit, he just could not be bothered. He just does not give a
Yeah.
fuck.
he infamously fucking signed my poster the wrong color because, as he said, this color looks like shit.
Yeah.
He fucking just signed it the color he wanted. So,
Yeah.
well, it was Carpenter. I'm fine with it.
You're getting
Yeah.
glitter paint, and that's final.
When you're
No.
that much of a legend, you can just kind of be like that. And everyone's like, yeah, whatever. Thank you for all the fucking amazing movies you made.
Exactly.
But yeah, Carpenter's awesome. If you ever had the chance, I mean, his lines are always pretty fucking long. But I mean,
Mhm.
what was he charging, Steve? Was he like 100?
He was 100, exactly.
Yeah, justified. for
Oh,
someone
Yeah,
like
I
that,
did.
for
I
sure.
did Romero for 100, so I do JC for 100.
Yeah. No, you haven't gotten him yet, Todd?
No, I've never
No.
seen him in a con around here.
Yeah. Hopefully one day. He's starting to get up there though. What's Carpenter now? He's gonna
It's
be
like
what,
80s, probably.
80s?
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah,
He's
early,
getting up there.
early 80s.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to snag him.
He's still talking about doing fucking movies, so.
What did you
Good.
say? Dead Space?
Yeah, he wants to do Dead Space really badly before he goes. So
I still haven't seen The
Interesting.
Ward. That's the only one I haven't seen of his.
I haven't either. That was his last movie, right? He directed.
yep,
With the Amber Heard's, I think, the girl in that one.
I think so.
Yeah, Amber Turd. It's-
Classic.
and I didn't know a very young Sydney Sweeney is in that one
Interesting.
Oh,
as
right.
well.
Wow.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Alrighty. Off
this
on our
fucker.
tangent. Let's get back. Let's pull it back in and rate this puppy. I'll start us off. Yeah, man. I think we're probably all going to be the same rating. This is like I said, it's Carpenter's masterpiece. It's one of the greatest horror movies of all time. What more is there to say? Amazing practical effects, amazing ending, amazing characters. Hopefully, one day Kurt Russell decides he wants to do a convention. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but who knows? 5 out of 5, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, maybe Wyatt Russell will do a con. I can just be like, can you sign your dad's name on this fucking Halloween poster? I'm with you. 5 out of 5. It's amazing. And this, I wish I would have rewatched it before the 80s list because I have it at number 10, and this is not a number 10 80s list. It's
No.
way up there. But either way, it's fucking good. It's 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I take, 5 out of 5s like a fucking, sponge on Seinfeld. Like I'm very, very picky about what I give 5 out of 5, but this is one of them. Like absolutely deserving 5 out of 5. Fucking love this movie.
Hmm. Yeah. And what do our friends over at Letterboxd have to say about this one? I mean, they're pretty much almost there with us. This is, I mean, a 4.4 out of 5 over on Letterboxd. I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
insanely
rare.
high.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even looked it up on IMDb too, and IMDb has it as number 147 in the 250 greatest movies of all time, like based on like ratings and stuff like that. So, I mean,
I was actually
obviously, high
looking at
praise.
Letterboxd top 250 horror films, and it was number two. So
Yeah.
What's
What
one?
was number one? Shining?
no, it was something that I'd never seen. So I'll let
Oh.
you guys know. I just wait, give me a
It's
second.
probably some bullshit movie.
Yeah, some Japanese movie. One second, because I'm trying to
Like
do
three
the
people have
whole
seen.
two 250 on.
So number
Oh, that's
one
fun.
American movie.
I'm at 32% so far. It's a Perfect Blue.
Perfect
Heck,
Blue. Never
never
even
even
heard
heard.
it. Gonna have to watch it though if they
I
got it
mean,
number one.
I'm looking at just like the people I follow,
Is it called
and
The Perfect Blue or
no,
Perfect
just Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue?
It's got a 4.2 just out of my friends and a 4.4 overall.
It's
And
animated.
yeah, it seems to be, eh?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
97, 82 minutes. It's an animated film, and
interesting.
I think it's appears to be Japanese or Korean, and it's 4.4.
All
Hmm.
right. I wonder, is it accessible? I wonder.
It's not. It doesn't show one of my
No,
streaming services here, so.
I guess
Yeah,
you can buy it
might
on
be a
Prime.
tough one to get. Okay.
It's on YouTube and Prime. Let's see what YouTube is
Okay.
cost that.
I'll have to pick it up.
To rent it on YouTube, it is. You might hear it autoplay in the background here.
All
Um, 4.99.
Not bad.
right.
Not bad for the
Well, if it's
best
not,
movie of all time, right?
definitely gonna have to watch best horror movie of all time. Allegedly, well, I'm probably gonna watch it this week, and I'll report back next week on our watch probably. All right, let's finish this off then, gentlemen, and head to 2011 with The Thing again. All right, The Thing 2011, directed by, this one's a mouthful, Majiz Van Hegingen. I could definitely butcher the fuck out of
Nailed
that
it.
one. Nailed it. Starring Eric Christian Olsen, Ulrich Thompson, Joel Edgerton, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Plot: a group of scientists researching an alien spaceship found in the Antarctic come face to face with the ship's not quite dead occupant. Todd,
Hmm.
it's round three, baby.
All right.
Finish it up.
I'm ready. Put me in, boss. Joel Edgerton plays the hot helicopter pilot. We gotta have Americans in this movie. I don't care if it's based in the Norwegian Arctic fucking thing. We're doing Americans, baby. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who's a fucking babe, dude. She plays a hot to trot paleontologist, right? American, and like in the beginning, the Norwegians like they find the ship in the ice and like, holy fuck, dude, which is a cool scene. They fall down a crevice in their little truck and everything. Flash forward a little bit, and they recruit her because she's hot to trot, and she's a great scientist, whatever. Hey, you need to come out here and fucking sign this. You want to see an alien? He's like, yeah, I want to see an alien. And they go out there, right? So now we're at the Norwegians. Remember what I said about the last thing? The McRadian group, they go to the Norwegian base. Let's find out what happened there. And that's the entire movie. They get the alien back to their base. It breaks out, and now basically we're following them as they're trying to figure out what's going on. It's kind of a rinse and repeat. I don't know if would you say sequel or remake.
It's actually so it's technically a prequel.
Okay,
But
prequel
They
remake.
consider it a
it was filmed a
prequel, but
prequel. Yeah.
I think that's bullshit, though.
You
We'll
think
get
it's a
into
re more?
it.
Well, I'm gonna stop my thing there because it's definitely the lesser of the three films. It's hard
Hmm.
to follow up the original thing, 82 thing, man. And this one has some good moments. Like there's some bright stuff in it, but I just find myself being bored with it, honestly. Maybe that has to do with 82 version. But overall, I do enjoy it. I think it's an okay film. I saw it in the theaters and I thought it was okay then. I still think it's okay now, but nothing groundbreaking. I don't remember the ending of it, honestly. So, what about you guys?
Yeah, man, I went into this one. I've never ever seen this one. I always just avoided it because I'm like, why remake the thing? It was perfect as it is. Um, so I went in with like extremely low expectations, and I actually was pleasantly surprised. I actually thought it was a pretty fun movie overall. They tried to do different things, but also keep it very similar in a way to Carpenter's. I would say it's definitely more similar to, Carpenter's The Thing, but they definitely took some things from probably the original as well. Um, I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I love her anyway. She's always great in everything. And Joel Edgerton is a great actor. So I think, they both are, my favorite characters in this for sure. And I enjoyed their characters. Where the movie loses me is in all the other characters. Like everyone else was just like, I didn't care about their fates or like what happened to them. So that's where it lost me a bit. But I thought the creature designs were very, very cool. Like, and it was surprising. The CGI at times is fucking awful. Like, and this was just like the weird time of the 2000s when they were trying to figure out like what was good CGI and what wasn't. And this definitely has some really bad CGI. However, I think it's forgiven at times because by the designs of the creature, and at times the CGI really didn't look that terrible. So I could get on board with it. So yeah, I mean, overall, I came out this mostly positive. I had a fun time with it. I think it's a fun watch.
Yeah, so this is my second time watching it. I watched the first time, like I said last week. It was the first ever house I did at Halloween Horror Nights in 2011. So I watched it prior to that, and I actually, honestly, was quite kind of surprised with this watch through. Like I thought I'd have fatigue because I just watched basically the same story twice before, but I was really into it. I really fucking enjoyed this one way more than I remembered and way more than I expected. There are some great effects. Like you said, the CGI it does look bad at times, but I could almost forgive it because the creature designs were so cool. It had like memorable creatures, and after trying to, match the thing from 82, that's almost impossible. But I think they did
Right.
a good enough job of, doing something new while still keeping kind of the essence of the 82 thing. I did like some of the other characters, but that might be because I know the actors. I was super psyched to see fucking Tormund from Game of Thrones because he's such a badass on that show. So, but you're right though, they don't do a good job of kind of separating them and giving them all like a really good kind of backstory or any reason to care about them. I did like the test thing that they went with in this, even
Yeah.
though definitely wasn't as scientific, because I would be on team, you're probably an alien because I've never had cavities, so I'd be fucked in this universe. But I like the whole idea that if you have any kind of foreign, like metal or something on your body, that the thing kind of spits it out. So yeah, I think it was super cool, and I like that they were going the prequel route. They even matched exactly what the base looked like. They made sure that when McCready goes into the base in 82's thing, that it matches what's on screen, like where the deaths are and stuff. One of the issues is that there was producer interference, and they cut some of the scenes that really showed like this matches like exactly. But it was cool to see how the two faces merged like the thing that we first see in 82. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So I really enjoyed it.
And what
Mhm.
happens if you have like a replaced hip and
I spit it out.
you then your hip falls apart, or you get like a
Well,
perfect
he,
hip?
he he recreates it, so they'd probably get it perfect.
Yeah.
Alright.
You wouldn't be able to tell, like, he might be walking slightly different, but like, yeah, it's only things you could see, I guess. And that's why they went with the cavities.
Okay.
Because anything else that if it was foreign inside, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, I agree. That it was cool. It's like you weren't completely trying to copy, obviously, what they did with the thing, and you went with that instead. So I thought that was definitely cool and pretty unique. I just wish that I don't know. To me, like it just seemed like a remake. Like I guess I didn't really pay attention to like the prequel stuff, but I think they could have did a better job conveying that this was a prequel. Just by even changing the name. Like
So,
why I had read that they wanted to like they
yeah.
couldn't figure out a good name. Just call it like The Thing Begins or something like that. Like it's not that hard.
Thingamajig.
Yeah. Like, cause you just call it the same thing. You're just like, okay, remake. Like,
The
and
Thing. I love the fact that it's a prequel though. It's so neat, like seeing how it happened. I just wish it was a little bit better how it happened, honestly, man. It's like, I do like the girl in it. I think she's a fine actress and she was really good. And I liked Joel Edgerton too. And the way she figures out it's not him is really cool. Like I like that reveal because they make it a point to show that he has an earring throughout the film in multiple spots. So like this time around, I'm like, all right, when does that earring disappear? And then that's when he's been infected. But they really hold on to it until the very end when she finds him out that he's like, your earring's missing, and he like grabs it. And it's like different ear, and she fucking toasts his ass. Yeah, but
Mhm.
I thought that was pretty cool. But what happened? Honestly, I must have. I don't know if I fell asleep or something. But like, who's in the helicopter at the end that leads to the Thing 82 version? Like, did we see that part?
Yeah, so what happens is that they say a couple times in the movie that because of bad weather, their helicopters like wherever they get supplies,
Hmm.
and it was going to come back once the weather comes like gets better.
Oh,
So
okay.
the people in the helicopter probably went to the post like after everything happened, got
Uh-huh.
infected, and then went to the next base to try to like
Well,
you know,
no, they were
well,
chasing the
they're
dog
chasing
though.
a dog, yeah,
Yeah.
but
So that okay, so it doesn't really answer why they're chasing the dog because they weren't part of the main cast. So
hmm.
did they meet Mary Elizabeth and she
That's
told
possibly
them
what
and then
happened to her is like kind of a
yeah,
mystery, right? Because she's
okay.
driving
Right.
towards something, so
She just fucking drives forever. She's still
in
driving.
in the fucking fakest snow ever. I
You
hate.
really love fake snow, man.
Oh my God, like it just it God, you put so much money into a fucking budget and you can't make snow look somewhat real. Like
It wasn't as
just
bad as that Christmas movie we
oh my
just
God, that
watched.
was so funny that
The
Christmas
blankets.
Evil. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which you heard it here. We're doing the remake, Evil Christmas.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Let's hope. I
Yeah,
mean, we're into it.
let's
It's
fucking
being discussed.
let's write this up.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be so fucking cool.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I loved all the nods. Like her with the flamethrower at the end was pretty awesome.
You
I
know,
had read too. Interestingly enough, one of the studio's demands was that a female be cast in the lead for
oh,
this one, which I
cool.
found to be interesting. But they didn't want her to be exactly like McCready, so they said they wanted her to be more like an Ellen Ripley type. So
Ah,
they
of
tried to use
course.
traits from that. But I thought it worked. Like I thought she was like pretty badass in her own right, and I thought she did like a really good job, being sort of the female version of McCready.
Yeah. I got to go back to the helicopter though, because it's still bugging me. Um, so I think it would have been really fucking cool if, as much as I like Mary Elizabeth, she should have died in this movie,
Hmm.
and it should have
Agreed.
been Joe Edgerton and just some random fucking
Yeah,
guy,
that could have been
and
cool.
then they pilot the ship. I mean, not the ship, the helicopter back to the American base, and then like literally just seamless. And maybe even show a little bit of the first of the Thing 82 right at the beginning,
Right.
and then fade it out. I thought it'd been fucking
Yeah.
sick because it would have been like such a cool callback, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100% agree, and that's why I'm like, I just don't buy this being like a pre. Like, I feel like it was just like really lazy. Like, they did not do a good enough job to do something like that. And you're right, Todd. They should have did like more stuff like that. But to me, it was just like very weak. And I don't know if it was because of the studio interferences. Like, obviously, like that's like a big thing about this movie is the studio had so much interference that actually the director retired after this movie.
Oh, he did? Holy
Well,
crap.
he came
Yeah,
back
yeah.
recently, but yeah, he retired
10
for
years
like a
late,
decade.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's he up
Yeah.
to now? Anything we've watched?
No, but it was
Uh,
some critically acclaimed movie that he came
Oh,
back
cool.
to, so at least he's back
Good
in
for him.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it said due to constant studio interference, the director had such a negative experience with film that he claimed to have lost his passion for filmmaker making and retired for nearly a decade. One of the issues was that he had to battle with 5 or 6 different studio executives in charge of the project, which made it difficult to make any creative decisions. At one point, production was shut down for a week because Universal wanted the film to be in 3D,
Oh
and the
gosh.
release was eventually pushed back 6 months for studio mandated reshoots. So,
Fuck the
yeah.
studios, man. I feel bad
Always, man.
for.
They all haven't they learned by now that like it's never good when they interfere like this much. I mean, like you just it's just like because like look at the same thing happened with Zombie, right? With Halloween as well. It's just like let the man make let these directors make their movies, man.
Yeah.
Like they have a vision, like and usually
Mhm.
it's the right vision, you know. I mean,
Well,
I mean Halloween, I guess, was maybe the exception, but barely. And Halloween 6 with the producer's cut there, but I don't
one
know.
thing about the movie though that I'd like that really lowers the score a little bit for me is I hated all the stuff in the spaceship. Like when they go back to the spaceship later on
Yeah,
and they fight the thing like on the spaceship, like she falls into the fucking vent and then lands in the space. I don't know, like that whole sequence. I think it just it wasn't needed. I think they played it better when they were in the facility, just like the original thing. Like they didn't need to go back to the spaceship, so that just felt like sci-fi channel
Yeah.
bullshit.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm same with the effects too. Some of the
Yeah.
effects are like
Yeah.
very sci-fi channel-esque.
Do you feel that they're setting this bad boy up for a sequel? They thought it was gonna be a lot performed a lot better because
They made
it's one of
one,
those
and
things.
they need to.
No, you know what I mean.
I
Like
know.
a direct sequel to this, like because she survives, but
Right.
this should have been, like I said, everyone dies because that's what happens in the first one, except for those two guys. So like they were trying to make a, a
It's quite
new,
possible.
probably trilogy or some shit.
It's quite possible that that was the original. I mean, did this? I assume this bombed in theaters. Did
I
it?
saw it in
Like,
theater. I don't know. See.
so okay, yeah, I'm looking right now. It had a budget of 38 million, and yeah, it grossed worldwide 31. So
Oh,
seven
bomb.
million loss. Opening
Yep.
weekend, it did 8 million. So not very good.
Oh, here we go. Plans were in development for a sequel taking
Mm.
place with Kate's character battling the creature on an oil platform near the South Pole. How the fuck did they get to the South Pole? However, these plans were abandoned following the critical and financial failure of the film. How did they
Mm.
get from? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something else. But that's fucking. That's kind of cool, actually, on the oil platform. That's kind of sick.
I would have been down for more of it because, like I said, I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead like carried the movie and was the most interesting part about it.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It probably would have been worse. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think we needed it. You know, I think it was fine what we got, and it wasn't necessary to continue this anymore. And I mean, where do they go from it? Do you think we'll ever see another Thing movie? Like, do you think eventually we'll see something, whether it be an actual prequel, like done right, or do you go like a sequel, remake? What's the right way to go, or just fucking leave it alone?
I think they will eventually revisit this. I mean, they're doing a video game right now, so that's
Oh,
gonna
that's cool.
bring some eyes to the franchise. But honestly, I think they should go the Predator route, and like the idea, I guess, for the sequel is have the thing, but set somewhere completely different.
Sure.
Oil rig could have been cool, but can you imagine like if it's just like at a base in Africa or like just something that's not in the Arctic, just because we've seen that. Just I think there could be a lot of cool lore if imitating people and just goes like spitting out like that. So I think it could be really cool, but just they got to get away from basically the same
They
formula.
won't. They'll remake it
You
for
think
sure.
again?
Yeah, they'll remake it. But here's my question for
Yeah.
you guys for all the movies. Well, maybe just the prequel and the Carpenters. Is the thing the original pilot of the ship, or did it take over and kill the entire actual alien species, and now it's just like Slither, like it
Interesting.
comes and takes
Yeah.
over everything? Do we think? What do you guys think?
I'm
Is it
gonna
a
say it
bad?
piloted the ship. Um, but maybe not. I mean, I
It
don't
just
know.
fucking
Maybe I don't know, right? Because like, what is this thing? Like, right? Like, are maybe there are like actual aliens that you see, and then they put this sort of organic, their own sort of organic thing down there to sort of infect.
Yeah,
That
I have a feeling it's like it's a one. It's almost like a fucking like search mission. They're trying to find
hmm
planets to kind of
Thinginize.
Yeah, because in this one, when they do go back in the spaceship, they have that like weird kind of map CGI thing in the middle of the spaceship. So I have a feeling that's some kind of communication device to tell, its planet like, okay, this is a feasible planet where we can
We
take
got
over and stuff.
we
So
got ripe people to take over.
yeah,
What
All
if we
right.
went back up to the spaceship and they look like those things from Night of the Creeps?
Mm,
From those
nice.
ones that are running around.
Yeah, yeah.
Slugs.
Look like ball sacks or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Those like little things in the beginning of the movie that we never saw again.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. All right.
Alrighty, gentlemen. Let's rate this sucker. I'll start us off. Yeah, man, to me this was a pleasant surprise. Like I was honestly expecting this to be my lowest rated one out of the three. But yeah, man, I thought it was actually a really well made sort of prequel, sequel, remake, whatever the fuck you want to call this. I give it a 3.5 out of 5, and I'm shocked I rated it that high. But I just had so much fun with this. I would easily watch this again, and this was a nice, pleasant surprise to sort of finish off this trilogy.
All right. Like I said, I think it's a fine movie. It's just doesn't really add anything new or special to to the 82 version. Like the acting, like the setting, but it's the same thing as 82, honestly, just not as good. So
Hmm.
I'm sticking with a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, and I'm a little higher than you guys. I'm at a 4 out of 5. I was
Oh,
surprised at how much I fucking loved watching this. And like I said, I'd watched the other two things like right before, so I would have for sure thought I'd have fatigue over this story, but I didn't. I was so engrossed in this version of it as well, and I liked the differences that they made while keeping it also like kind of familiar to the Carpenter version. With nods to the original. Like I thought it was a well done, prequel slash remake. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with this one. I'm actually curious what I would think if I didn't watch the other two right before. Like, would I have liked it
yeah.
more, or maybe because I was so into the lore and story that I would have liked it less? I don't know. But right now, 4 out of 5.
Very nice. And what do our friends over at Letterboxd have to say? They currently have it at a 2.7 out of 5, which I think was the lowest rated of the three we had. And I think that's just remake, right? Like people just, it's like, yeah, I mean, I think most people will probably agree. It's like, why touch the thing and continue on like after this? And yeah, I just think it came out at a weird time too. Like it was kind of a weird time for horror as well, where people just were like, I think it was remake fatigue at that point. Like I feel like everything was being remade around that time. So I think it probably would maybe be more successful had it come out at a different time. But yeah. All right. Well, that's it, folks. The trilogy is complete. The three things. Quick rating. I would go obviously Carpenter's thing, the best, followed by the 2011, second for me, and then the original 1951 being number three for me. What do you guys got?
Yeah, I go Carpenter 51 and then 2011.
I'm with Joe Carpenter, 2011, and then 51. But all
All right.
solid movies. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think they're all like there definitely wasn't a stinker out of any of them. I think they're all good movies in their own right. So yeah, everyone check them out if you've never seen them before. And yeah, that will do it, folks. And favorite thing collectible? You guys got anything in the collection?
I don't have anything. I mean, I watched this on tape, which was nice, watching it on VHS.
Mm,
Got the Scream
nice.
Factory edition, which is a cool edition, but I don't have any figures or no, actually, no, I have a no, actually I don't. Never
McCready?
mind. No, I wanted to get that one, but I
uh,
haven't got it yet, so that'll be my next
Yeah.
purchase.
all I have is a Palmer like blood sample thing,
Hmm.
and I
Yeah.
have Wilford Brimley's autograph from the thing. So
That's cool.
it's
Nice.
it's the only actually
Yeah.
it's the only
Rest in
thing.
peace.
Yeah, I have like autographs from some of the other actors, but on other stuff. So
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, I got some McCready figures. I also have it was like a limited edition they did of the poster art figure, which is pretty cool. The poster art for I mean is so cool too and so iconic too at this point. But yeah, and then I have some autographs and stuff, but yeah, I'd say um my favorite thing is obviously the picture I took with the cast. You know, that's my favorite thing with me dressed as McCready.
I do have one other thing that I fucking love.
Yeah.
I have 7 or 8 prints that are the Thing masked with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. From, like,
Nice.
and it's so fucking cool. I'll have to like send pictures on the Discord. It was
Yeah.
done by Homemade Horror, and I have the whole
Okay.
collection, and they're fucking rad, man. I love them.
That's really cool. Yeah, I want to pick up. I know they just released the dog recently. Like NECA did like the alien dog, and it's really fucking cool. So I definitely that'll be the next thing I pick up when I find it. All right, folks, that's it for our Thing triple feature. We hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we already kind of mentioned it, Steve, but it's been a little bit. So why don't you remind the folks what do we got next week?
So next week we are doing Ghost Watch with special guest Austin, who was one of the awesome people who bought a perk from our movie. So he's gonna get to watch it with us, and also his what watch for next week are actually part of my monthly challenge. So he's gonna watch movies that I gave him, and I'm gonna review the movies that he gave me. So it'll be an interesting episode, and I really look forward to it.
Awesome. All right, so yeah, go and check out Ghost Watch if you'd like. It looks like it's streaming pretty much everywhere if you'd like, from 1992. That is Ghost Watch. In the meantime, you can keep up with the podcast: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. Just search the Horror Squad Podcast. You can email us anytime, the Horror Squad Podcast at gmail.com. But of course, the absolute best way to keep up with the podcast is our Discord. Completely and totally free to join. It's linked over on our Instagram, or you can send us a email or a DM, and we will get you a link to join that the Discord. Ton of amazing channels and content to go through over there. We got Movie Club every single month, which I think actually, Steve, is that coming up this weekend?
This day, like the day this episode releases,
Okay,
we're gonna
yeah.
watch Moon Garden over on Shutter. So yeah, that's just go on to Discord, and I'll send the link at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Excellent. Yeah, so join us for that. If if you're listening the day this releases, go and join the movie club. But yeah, movie clubs happen every single month, usually the last Friday of the month. So join us for that. And yeah, don't forget, leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app if you haven't already. That helps out the podcast. Or if you'd like to buy merch and support the podcast that way, tpublic.com, the Horror Squad Podcast. That's also linked over on our Instagram. And important dates, don't forget, once again, Hocus Pocus Weekend is coming up October 2nd through the 5th with the cast of Hocus Pocus in Salem, Massachusetts. We will be doing a bunch of events for that. We're locking down the final stuff for that, so we will give you more details once we know. So that's it, folks, and we'll see you next week for Ghost Watch. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.